Alright, welcome ladies and gents. Disney Star Wars is in a sorry state of affairs. We know this is not a surprise. But how bad is it? Well, The Acolyte, which they spent $180 million on, is the second worst rated show viewing-wise. Terrible. Yeah, pretty bad, actually. The Nielsen ratings are in, which is an official rating. It's something which actually Disney pays. It's a service which they sort of opt into, so you can trust the Nielsen ratings. Yeah, they've released their figures. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. So we're going to take a look at this. Do hit subscribe, turn those bell notifications on, and give the video a like if you enjoy it. But anyway, let's take a look, shall we? So, yeah, it's hilarious. It's not good, but it's hilarious. I mean, it's good for me. Like, I find this funny, just because it's objectively comical. But anyway, the Acolyte Nielsen ratings are in, and as expected, they're not good, with the numbers being the second worst for Disney Star Wars. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. So we already knew that the viewership was lower than Ahsoka. We did know that, yeah. But it's also been learned that the viewership is now much lower than The Mandalorian by what looks to be nearly 75%. It's even lower than Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's even lower than The Book of Boba Fett. Comically, the only show The Acolyte beats is Andor. I mean, Andor's actually quite good. But, yeah, pretty bad. I mean, Andor was not a surprise that it didn't get a lot of viewership, to be fair. Like, it is about a character no one really knew or cared about. It wasn't, I don't know, it's not a surprise that it didn't get that much viewership. And it's not a surprise that The Acolyte's not got much viewership either, to be fair. But when you're advertising The Acolyte in cinemas, theatres, which this one, The Acolyte is advertised in theatres, right? It's shown in quite a lot of stuff. You'd expect it to be getting much better viewership. They were running loads of YouTube ad campaigns. It's been all over the place. And yeah, it's only just beating Andor, and not by much. That's hilarious. So The Acolyte has cost nearly double that of Ahsoka. So yeah, The Acolyte $187 million versus $100 million for Ahsoka. Not sure whether I believe that for Ahsoka, but okay. So the Nielsen ratings reveal that Ahsoka's viewership is nearly double that of The Acolyte. So here's the charts, June 3rd to June 9th. As you can see, this is the original chart. The Acolyte is in at number 7 with 488 million minutes watched. Not great. In fact, actually, if you're looking at that, what I think is the standout here from this entire thing is look how many times Netflix appears on it, and Paramount. And look how many times Disney Plus appears on it. That's not good, is it? That's not good at all. So what do these figures mean? Well, Nielsen, the industry standard, released its streaming ratings for the week of June 3rd, June 9th. The Acolyte premiered with its first 2 episodes on June 4th, so that is that week. According to Nielsen, the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte were watched 488 million minutes, or if you take the average of the 2 episodes, that's 244, which is not good at all. It's really bad. So what about other Star Wars shows? Compare it like for like with Nielsen. Ahsoka via Nielsen, the 2-episode premiere back on August 22nd, 2023, was watched for 829 million minutes. So that averages 414.5 million minutes per episode. Again, like pretty much double. So The Mandalorian Season 3 premiered with one episode on March 1st. 823 million minutes watched. Just for one episode. But also, side note, that goes to show how bad Ahsoka is as well, doesn't it? The Mandalorian Season 3, where people were like, getting a bit bored of this now, it's kind of dropping off a little bit. 823 million minutes. Just for one episode. So Andor premiered with 3 episodes on September 21st, 2022. And was watched for 624, which is an average of 208 million minutes per episode. So, I mean, look, you know, The Acolyte 244 million minutes. It is barely... It's barely scraping past Andor. Barely. So Obi-Wan Kenobi premiered with 2 episodes on May 27th, 2022. Which had an average of 513 million minutes an episode. Pretty good. Book of Boba Fett, or Book of Boba Fett, premiered with 1 episode on December 29th, 2021 for 389 million minutes per episode. Pretty good. You know, all things considered. That, in fact, well, in fairness, actually, that should have been so much more, by the way. Boba Fett comes back with his own show. Yeah, that should have been significantly higher. All these figures just go to show just how bad the state of Star Wars is. Mandalorian Season 2 premiered with 1 episode on October 30th, 2020 for, well, basically 1,000 million minutes. Amazing. And there are no Nielsen numbers for Mando Season 1. But doesn't that just go to show how bad it is? Look at this. On a, you know, a ranking system. That is terrible. I would say as well, like, I can't get over how bad this art. Boba Fett. You get a show about Boba Fett, and you can't break 500 million minutes watched. That's so bad. It's so bad. So what about the viewings and the runtimes? If we want to figure out the average viewing for each premiere, because the runtimes for each episodes are different, we divide the Nielsen viewership numbers by the runtime. And we don't see much changes except for Mando Season 3 and Boba Fett. Because the Season 3 bump is likely because of Luke Skywalker appearing in Boba. But regardless, the Acolyte still ranks second to the bottom. So we sit here. So they think that the Acolyte, because it's 82 minutes, ranks at about 6 million views. If you're going to do what they do, compare it, you know, how Disney does their own viewing figures. That's bad. That's real bad, isn't it? I can genuinely believe the Mandalorian ones, though. Because that was like peak hype. I can believe that. I think Ahsoka's a little bit too high. I can still believe it, but it is still too high. Crazy. So obviously what the data reveals is that there's a significant difference in popularity when comparing the top show, The Mandalorian, to what's at the bottom, The Acolyte. Yes, obviously. The data reveals that a majority of fans who watched The Mandalorian didn't tune in for The Acolyte, or much of the other Star Wars shows. Nearly 75% weren't interested. That's madness. Nearly 75% is just like, nah, I'm noping out of this. So there you go, there's the Nielsen figures. No wonder they're doing this sort of, I don't know, apology tour and be like, oh no, we're fine, we're fine, promise, we accept criticism. No, you don't like criticism. Anyway, there you go. What else do you say about this? Fun times, I guess. The Acolyte is a bomb. It is a bomb. So there you go. And you compare this to other things. Other things are doing so much better than this. So it speaks volumes to just how trash Star Wars is at this moment in time. Leave your thoughts down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Turn those bell notifications on. And if you like what I do here, support me further via Patreon, which is linked down below in the description box. Take care. Bye-bye now.